Hello. Hey, hi Lakshmi.
Hi, Amit.
Right. So I think we can start now. I'm really sorry, no, actually last night I slept late and I just when the that message came from Shweta, that is when I just got to.
That's okay, Amit.
So we start. See now today, what we're going to do is, so we are going to start off with basically the libraries, right? Up till now, what we have done is we have been through the sessions where we have learned the fundamentals of Python, right? Like how do you write the loops, or probably how do you write the if condition, create the functions, what are list, tuples, and all those. So those were the basics that we have cleared out. So now when we have to start working with the data now, right? So where we have to do some data manipulations and all. So for that, there are a lot of libraries that we have in Python that we are going to talk about today. And the very first one and the most popularly used library is that is NumPy, right? So this stands for basically numerical Python. Okay. Now this is basically a linear, it is basically a linear library of Python, and the reason it is very important for uh, the reason this is very important to learn is because most of the other data science libraries, they rely on this NumPy library for their building blocks, right? So you will see at many of the places we will have to use NumPy again and again to get the things done. It is also very fast, right? This library is very fast, and it is basically based on the C coding, right? This was already using the C coding, which we are going to use in Python over here, right? So let's get started on this. So this library is something you will not get it as installed. You actually have to first install this. So how you can install this is come to this main home page, click on new, and
Amit, you didn't share the screen.
I mean, we are not able to see your screen.
Yeah.
okay. So I was talking about the NumPy, right? So this numerical Python, that how important it is, because most of the libraries or data types will depend on this. So if you have to install this, right? So this library doesn't come installed. So you have to install this first. So come on the home page. From where you open that Jupyter notebook, click on the terminal. And once this window opens up, you just have to write conda install numpy. That's it. Now, if you will hit enter, so I already have this installed, so I will get a message, the requirement is already satisfied. But in your case, it will start downloading and installing this.
It's asking proceed Y or N. You have to.
Right. Just right here. Right.
For proceeding, we should press type Y.
Right. Yes. I'll just skip it just a second. Okay. Now, once this is installed, right, what you do is in this Python over here, after the installation of that, remember, right, just like in R, we had to put that thing into the library every time if we have to use any package. So over here also we have to follow the similar thing. We call it as import. We have to import it. You will say import numpy as np. So this is what you do over here. Right. So now this is the features and the functionalities, all the modules and the functions have been now imported over here in the Python over here of NumPy. So what we do is we are going to start off with NumPy arrays. The first thing that we start over here is that will be NumPy arrays. See, NumPy arrays are something similar to, not something similar, I mean, little bit similarity with the list only you will find, but it has more functionalities. So now NumPy arrays are the main thing that we use throughout this, the course of this, I mean, throughout the modules that you will see over here. And these NumPy arrays are just like a way of storing your data now. Okay, it's like numerical Python, as we said. So it is something we use to store numbers over here. Now, the NumPy arrays that we have, they are of two types. One is one-dimensional and two-dimensional or matrix. We call it as one-dimensional, two-dimensional or matrix. That is what we call them as. So suppose you have a list with you, right? You have a list. Let's call it as this. You have a list of some numbers, 10, 20, 30, 40. You have some numbers with you. So what you want to do is you want to convert this into an array, right? NumPy array. So you will simply say np dot array, right? So NumPy, so this function array comes in your np library. NumPy library. So you say NumPy.array list. So you see this gets converted into a NumPy array now. Okay. Now if you see over here, if you create a list, suppose I create a matrix now, and this is a list of list, right? Suppose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9. Now if I convert this into an array, right? NP dot array of matrix. See, now it looks like a matrix now. Something similar we saw in the R also, the R matrix that we had. Okay.
Amit, matrix is a variable name or
Variable name. This is a variable name. So when you give list of list, so that gets converted into the form of a matrix. So that is why just give the same name.
Amit, for me, it's not still installed. Is it generate? Does it take this much time? It's still, think running. It's not.
Doesn't take that. Can you share your screen?
Yeah.
It doesn't take that much time. It just mostly take 2 to 3 minutes max to max.
Are you able to see?
Looks like it got stuck somewhere, I guess. Try to close it and run it again.
I'm thinking of closing the entire Conda. I mean, it's open since yesterday. Maybe that's the reason. Should I close the entire thing and start again?
Just open it once, again, and then run it. It doesn't take that much time. It just takes 2-3 minutes. That's max to max.
I think it's taking long time. I need to restart this Anaconda.
It's not getting closed. Is it not getting closed also?
Yeah, I closed it and I started it again.
Oh, okay, okay. Maybe you might be need to restart. So yeah, because otherwise it starts in that much time.
Okay, I'll restart again this Jupyter, this Alga.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll stop sharing now.
Now there like this is simple way. There are also methods that we have. There are some methods to create quick arrays. Right? Like for example, there is a function that you have arrange. Right? Arrange is a function which will help you to get evenly spread array. Now suppose if you say np dot arrange and you say you want the array between 0 to 10, right? It will give you all the numbers starting from 0 up till 9, right? Because we know that in whenever you give such type of ranges in the Python, it doesn't take the last one. So if you will see now, it will give you 0 to 9 as a range. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And 0 to 9. That is how you will get this. There's a quick way of getting an array. If you write np dot arrange and you will say, suppose 1 to 1 to 20 with a gap of 2. So you see 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. That is how you get the data in this. Right? You all tried it. So now similarly, you have some functions like zeros and ones, right? Zeros, ones. So for example, you want to generate an array. So if you say np dot zeros and you say 3, see it will create a matrix. It will create a matrix where, sorry, it will give you three zeros in there. If you, sorry, so that should give you 3 zeros. And if you say 5, it will give you 5 zeros. So that is how you can generate this. Matrix of you, if you want to have matrix of zeros, so you can say np dot zeros and you will say 5 comma 5 comes in the prompt.
Why is
Right.
that dot after 0?
This is just because it gives like a floating at that as a number, so just representing the dot of that.
Okay.
So like floating number as a type. Okay. Now, similarly, you have the same thing for ones also. You can try that, right? If you try np dot ones, it will give you the same thing for ones now. If you write 5 over here, it will give you 5 ones. If you say np dot ones and you say 5 comma 5, it will give you those a matrix of 5. If you want to create an identity matrix, so for identity matrix, we have a function called as I. So if you say np dot I, right, and you say you want an identity matrix of 4, so what is that? Basically, once diagonally once you get in that identity matrix.
Amit, what's the use of these zeros, ones, i's? Are you
These
going
are
to?
the no, so these are just simple functions. Just wanted to discuss on that. Otherwise, they are something not you're going to use.
Okay.
Zeros, ones, yeah. Something that we use is that is random functions. That you have to generate some random data over here in the Python. So you have the random functions that we have. So like if you write np dot random, so random is a module and that contains a lot of random functions. So if you use over here random function, random method, if you want to generate 5 random numbers, so you can generate 5 random numbers for your data. So it will give you the random numbers between 0 to 1.
Amit, am I doing anything wrong? Is still it's even though I restarted the Jupyter is still running installation.
Can you just share screen once? How have you?
Do I need to change this path anywhere, something like that?
Oh, just give me a second. Path is your users to be your document. So that is not a problem. Do one thing. Can you just launch it using this Anaconda? Just open the Anaconda once.
Um, I just opened like launch Jupyter directly from this
It
window.
generally happens from there only because so this Jupyter notebook, this Anaconda 3, so there. The same thing that we have. So just open it once. Open the terminal.
Sure. Shall I go to my where I can share my save my?
No. Terminal will open only on that drive only, because that is where we are. Those things will be installed on your C drive. Now just type. I'm solving my.
I think it's working now.
Yes. Done.
Okay. I think I opened from terminal from the folder where I saved my Python files. That's why it's not working, I guess.
Now just try this once. Now go over there. Open a new file,
I generally open from.
a new Python. On the right side, you can open it up now.
I open from my.
Oh, okay. Now import NumPy as NP. Now you know this NP that we write. This name can be anything, but as a general, you will see universally we use NP over there, because you know it's easy. You can say import NP as ABC also. So everywhere you will have to say ABC dot arrange likewise. So this name can be anything. Like it's an alias name.
Okay. Yeah. It's working now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, similarly, if you want to, generate some more random numbers, like, you want to generate some random integer numbers, right? So you can say np dot random dot rand int, right? Suppose you want to generate a random numbers between 1 to 100. If you say 1 to 100, it will generate one number over here, right? If you want to generate 10 numbers, so you will say np dot random int 1 to 100. You want to generate 10 random numbers. You can generate 10 numbers, 10 random numbers like this. Right. See, now you know what we will do is we will be talking about the indexing and these selections in the NumPy arrays, right? Which is something exactly like we had something in the the lists also. So we have the same technique of indexing over here as well, right? Suppose I create a array now where I'm saying np dot arrange, okay, and we want to have the numbers between 0 to 10. Okay, so what I can do over here is now I will save that data into my this variable over here. So if I say on this, suppose I am saying ARR, I want to pick up the value at the index number 8. So it will give you that output. You want to generate a sequence of data, so the same thing, nothing is different in this. If you say you want to pull the data from 1 to 5, so you can get that data. You want to replace the values, you can do that, right? If you say array from values 0 to 5, you want to replace the values with 20. So if you will now check the array, so those values are replaced to 20 now over here. Okay. Now, if you want to generate a copy of an array, right? If you want to generate a copy, so see, I mean, technically you can make simply assign a variable, assign it to a new variable also. But you can also, what you can do is, suppose you want to make a copy of this ARR. So I can make, suppose I want to say a new variable array2. So I will simply say that array that I already have dot copy. So it will just copy that thing into this variable now. Now, if you have a two-dimensional array, right? If you have a two-dimensional array, so how we do the slicing on that is, suppose I'm creating a np.array now. Okay. So if you will say this array 2D that you have created, if you say 1, this gives you the row. Okay. It gives you the row in this case. if you say array 2D, you want to define the row and column, right? So you say 1. Right? If you want the first column, so 258. So you say rows as all blank 1, right? Because you can one column, like just exactly like that we did in the R, right? If you have array 2D, if you say 0, 0, that means the first value. Row index 0, column index 0. So you will get the first value, that is 1. Right? So you give that in the form of row and column. First R, then C. So array 2D. If you want to have only the rows, you can just pass row number over here. Suppose 2 you pass, it gives you only the row. If you want to have all the data of a particular row and you want to focus only on one of the column or 2 of the columns, so you can just give those column numberings or column indexing over here.
Amit, can you explain the last one? How we get that 789?
Okay, this 789 was, this is the row that I was mentioning. So row number, we want this 2 over here, right? So what I did was I just put 2 over here. That was it. That is the output of 789. Now that I was saying was that if suppose you want to generate all these numbers, now that's a column index, right? Column index number 2. So in that case, what I do is I will say array 2D, right? So I want 369, that means from all the rows. So I will just write a colon, comma, index number of column, that is 2. So that gives you 369. Okay, and you can also apply the Boolean stuff if you want on this, right? Suppose I again create that. So we all have this array right now with us, right? So if you say you want to see the data where the values are more than, suppose I say 7. See, it returns the output in the form of true, true, false, false. So this value is more than 7, true, true, true. And similarly, this has false, false, and then becomes false and true and true. Okay, but if you want to generate those values, right, which are more than 7, so what will you do? You will say array, and over here again you will pass array greater than 7. So now you get the values that are more than that value now. If you want to do some arithmetic operations, right, you want to do arithmetic operations on the basically on the arrays, you can do that, right? You can say array plus array, so it will be added up, right? So you can add the arrays, multiply the arrays. So those things are also possible if you want. You want to take a square root, right? So you have a function for that, np dot sqrt, so you can find the square root of the numbers if you want, right? So this is a direct function that is available. You want to extract the maximum value, so we have np dot max of array, right? You have np dot min. Now, this is in the NumPy arrays, we just have these functions, right? These are the main things, the NumPy, how these numbers are being treated now. Now, the main part from where the things are now going to start over here is that will be from the pandas library, right? There is another library that we have, pandas. Now, this is where we will have the features of data manipulation. Right now, this is the base for this. The pandas library is also the NumPy only, so it uses a lot of this feature from the NumPy. So we're going to talk about it, right? So that is pandas now. So now, like you all install the NumPy, right? So what you can do is you can install the pandas as well. So if you come to the terminal, so you say panda install pandas. So this is the library that will give us a feature to load and actually work with the data of multiple types, right? Data structures, loading the data from CSVs, Excel files. So those are the things that we are going to explore in this. You can now install pandas. Right? Are you able to do it? Okay. So now you know what we do over here is in this, basically now we're going to talk about the NumPandas series over here now. like you have arrays, you have series in the pandas now. So so series, is something like arrays only. Series is like arrays in NumPy. It's similar to that. The only difference is that over here you can have the labels also, right? You can define the labels as well to that series. So like like the names if you want. So let's do it. So you will have to import pandas first, pandas as PD. Okay. Now what I do over here is, suppose if I have to create a series now, right? So what I will do over here is, let's create one. I have a number. Suppose I have some list with me. List equals to, in this I have some numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. If you want to convert a series if you want to convert this into a series, you will simply say pd dot series, and you will pass this lst inside it. And you see the series has now come up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the numbers that I store, and it is showing you the index number also, right? It is showing you the index number as well. And now when you're creating these series, right? So you said pd dot series lst this, comma. If you say index equals to, you want to give some your own names, right? Suppose you have 6 numbers, you call it as A, B, C, D, E, F. If you do that, so you can just give your own labels to the indexes also if you want. So I have given my own labels in this case. So you can convert anything into a series, whether it's a list, you have a NumPy array, or in fact for that, if you have a dictionary also, right? Suppose if you have a dictionary with you, suppose I create a dictionary over here. I am saying a student, suppose ID 1 is that is 1, ID 2 is 2, ID 3 is 3. Right, this is a dictionary that I have. If I say pd dot series and I pass this dictionary inside it, see it converts that also into a series over here. And the good thing about series is series can hold a data of other data type also. Series can hold data of other types. Okay, like for example, if you are creating a series pd dot series and you save the data as, suppose you give the data as this, A, B, D. So it will take this also. So it takes the data of other data types as well. So I think we'll keep the stuff up till here for today, right? So it will get late for you as well. So we'll keep the things up till here. And then how do we do the indexing? Then how do we create the data frames? And how do we load the data from CSVs and Excel files? So that is something that we'll explore in tomorrow's session, right? Neither? So I think we can connect tomorrow from here. Any question you would like to discuss? Oops. Okay then, thanks everyone. Let's connect tomorrow.
Thank you, Amit.
Thank you, Amit.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.